Welcome one, welcome all. Good afternoon. For me, it's an afternoon. Not the greatest afternoon, especially given what we just witnessed, what I witnessed this morning. I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome into another edition of the fan show here on the Irish Hotspur. I am Jacob, one half of United Spurs of America. You can see the name right there. Kindly would ask if you go over there and subscribe if you haven't already, but big ups and welcome on in. If you've been here long, if you've been here short, you know that I try to find something positive out of these matches that we've been subjected to. The matches I'm alluding to, obviously, are the finals for Tottenham Hotspur. We had another final today, believe it or not, and Tottenham do lose 2-1 to Aston Villa. I think that's how many more finals do we have? Let me even see. We've played 36, so we only got 2 more finals to play. That's all to play for. European chances are also up for grabs. And quite frankly, Aston Villa wanted it more today. Let's call it right. Let's call it how we see it. It's frustrating. It is very frustrating. I'm sure that's actually probably why no one has called in. This is a fan call-in show, so if you have a membership or not, I might just put the link out in the chat here shortly. No one has called in yet, but I like to rant for a little bit, so maybe here in a couple minutes, if y'all want, I'll drop the link in the chat. Y'all can come say what's up. But oh, someone says, Jacob, you have not put the link into the community page. Yeah, I'll go ahead and text Jack that, but before I do all that, I do just want to jump in. We concede a goal in under 10 minutes once again at Villa Park. So obviously our away form has not been that great, as you all know. Guys, it's really hard to accept what I witnessed today. There was a couple things that I did enjoy. I did enjoy seeing the likes of Yves Bissouma out there. I did enjoy seeing, first and foremost, the fact that Dyer was not starting again, and the fact that Dyer was actually not on the bench, and I don't even think it's injury related. I think someone's been listening to either myself or the millions of other Spurs fans that have been crying for Eric Dyer to no longer participate with our first team. And you know what? Like it or not, it seems like that's what happened, because he wasn't even in the 18. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. But he was not even in the 18. Matthew Craig actually made a bench appearance. I'm saying bench appearance, obviously similar to Brandon Austin. They just see the bench. They don't see much else. It's interesting, though. Alfie Devine, no Romain Mundle. Those are 2 guys I'd like to see on the bench, because in the chance, I don't want to see Lucas Moura on the bench. I don't want to see Lucas Moura on the bench personally. Papa Matasar, I'd put him in. I'd let him get a little look in. Why not? How many substitutes we make? We only made four substitutes. So maybe when we brought, I understand we were still chasing the game, et cetera, but at this rate, with what's left to play for, I don't really mind either way. Europe, no Europe. Conference League, I feel like is the most that I want. I don't know where y'all kind of stand on that, but I definitely feel like Conference League or nothing is kind of how I feel. I don't want to compete in the Europa League. Look at what a Europa League type side, they're going to play Europa League next year, Aston Villa. And look at the quality that they have. From the first minute, they look like they wanted it. That John McGinn, I knew we were going to make somebody look world class. We always make someone on the opposing side look world class. So first, John McGinn was running everywhere, was bullying people. He was playing like a little pit bull out there. That guy was pissing me off so much. But he was, he didn't even get that high, like a statistical score on the sofa score or nothing, But honestly, he was just being a nuisance, and sometimes that's all you need, someone to disrupt the flow. We didn't really look interested, in my opinion, especially in that first half. I do also want to give some credit to Aston Villa and their back line. That offside trap, I don't know what they were doing, but they baited us into so many offsides. It's like they knew what we were trying to do, and they just stayed a high line. I don't understand how we couldn't cope with that. First and foremost, world-class striker Harry Kane, world-class finisher Heung-min Son, Heung-min Daddy. I don't see why we couldn't get past that. Richarlison kept being offsides. Son kept being offsides. Everyone kept being offsides with their chances, and that was really disappointing for me. I'm gonna run through some of the chat here real quick before it gets going too much longer. But big shout out to the 30 of you in the house. Please do hit that like one time for David and Jack. They do a lot of streaming on match days. So as you know, I try to come over here, lighten the load a little bit. Maybe be that defensive mid that helps clean up a little. I don't know. I'm just trying to help out. But if you're here and you haven't already, please do go subscribe to my channel. Michael's over there at United Spurs of America. That'd be great. The regular member here says, we all want the season to end, but it ain't going to get much better, is it? No, this season is not going to get much better because we all don't really even know what we're fighting for. We're a joke, says Corey Boy. Shout out Corey Boy. Thanks for being here. No passion, no fight. I've had my enjoyment watching paint dry on a wet wall. That's fun. Big up Amir says, absolute disgrace. Battling for Europe, and that's what they serve up. Levy and Enoch out. Here real quick, I'll put this. Let me put the link in the chat. So if any of y'all in the chat, y'all wanna come say what's up, y'all wanna come have your say. I really don't feel like I have too much to rant about tonight. It's more the obvious, but there were a few things I was happy about. So if anyone wants to come on, the link is in the chat. You can come on and have your say. Tell me what you think. Is you got something to rant about? Rant about it. Tottenham forever. Hey Jacob, you've not put the link into the community page. I put it there in the chat, so hopefully that'll just be a little bit easier for you, man. Darren Kilbane says, no Nagelsmann, he didn't want job because of the setup. Says it all on the pitch is in ruins because of the toe, because of that toe, Levy. A lot of fan want Poch back. Board and Levy don't says it all. The fact that the board and Levy don't want Poch back. They ain't even contact him. Apparently, we ain't even contacted anybody. We ain't contacted Nagelsmann. We ain't contacted no one. Here we go. We got some people populating in the back. Almost caught up on these comments, and then I'll bring y'all in. I'm kind of in a mood. I don't know how y'all feel. I know I normally do like the one-on-one call, but I feel like if y'all are cool with it. Oh, here we go. Everyone's piling in. That's what's up. Everybody's showing. People got some stuff to say. Hell yeah. There we go. Big up Jazz Fusion. Thanks for being here. Didn't get to watch, but enjoyed listening to all the offsides. Yeah, it was an offside party. A party after party. Offside party. I feel bad that you have to do this stream, man. You look deflated. None of us deserve this. I'm not deflated. I was just like, I don't know. Normally people call in, and so now that they have, I feel a little bit better because I was like, damn, no one wants to come rant with me. So here's real quick. I got 3 of y'all in the back now, so I'm just gonna bring the first one who came in, and then here we are. What is up, my friend? How you doing?
Joe. Oh mate, it can't get much worse, can it, man? It can't get much worse, can it, anymore?
It can. We could still lose out and not see any. I just feel like there's not much to play for, so why not play some kids? We got some kids winning some trophies, showing the big boys how it's done. That's kind of me personally. I don't really care if we get any kind of European. I don't want Europa. I definitely don't want Europa because we are just going to go into that and get embarrassed. And I'm tired of going in there and getting embarrassed. I'm also kind of don't like getting embarrassed in the Conference League neither, but I feel like that's our competition where our level of quality is. Like as an accumulative, as a squad, we should be able to compete in that, maybe Kane wants to compete in that. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. But
no, do you know what though, Jay, right? I see it like this, right? I kind of agree with you. We've got nothing to play for, right? I don't want Europe. So realistically, right, we've got nothing to play for. Let's just write this season off now and literally play the kids. Just play the kids now. There's no point. Maybe keep Forster in goal, but everybody else, let them have their time to go on the beach. But then, I don't know. Jay, it's becoming a bit of a joke, isn't it, mate? It really is. I don't know what else to say. Like last week we played with a great defense, but then this week it all goes to shit.
It does. I'm asking a question here in the private chat because, my mood. I kind of want to have a party, but I also don't want to veer too far off from the structure for Irish Hotspur and what we're kind of used to. But you know what? We done taken some L's.
Yeah, I don't mind having
I'm
other
just gonna
people
bring
come in.
everybody in because
Yeah,
you know
just bring
what?
everybody in,
Let's
man.
have a little party here on the Irish
Yeah,
Hotspur. Why not? Let's change
yeah.
it up. I'm welcoming in Dermot from
Right,
THFC
Demo?
till I die. What's up, Dermot? How you feeling?
Not great. To be honest with you, I wasn't going to come on because I was going to, as I said in the group chat, I'm taking a week away from it all. But I just want to remind one people thing. Today is on the players. Today's not on Levy or Enoch or what they've done and what they haven't done. It's on the 11 players that walked onto that pitch that couldn't be bothered to try, that couldn't be bothered to put an effort in, that couldn't be bothered to put any spirit in. That's who we should be blaming today. So I think we need to leave off the Levy and Enoch thing for 1 week and just really concentrate on the people who are responsible for today, and that's the players.
I hear you, Dermot. I hear you. We'll get into it. I'm gonna bring in another guest. Actually, my first time speaking with this gentleman, Corey Boy.
What
How
up?
are we doing,
Hey,
my
Dermot.
friend?
Yeah, man. Bit deflated. I'll agree with Dermot on this one. I am a massive advocate for the hierarchy to go out, but the 11 players that stepped onto that pitch, they're too worried about when their bloody holidays are going to start.
Where do you think? Let me ask you this: where do you think Harry Kane's gonna go during his holiday? Where do you think? I think Youngmin Son's probably gonna go back be with his family. What's the nicest destination? Let me ask you all this first. I want to get a vibe check. You're a player on this dross of a team, and you've had this performance. Where's the first place you're heading as soon as the season's over? I'll start with you, Tottenham forever.
Well, it depends on what player I am. If I'm Harry Kane, I'm getting on the aircraft, taking me kids, taking me missus, taking me unborn child, and I'm going on the first plane well away from Eric Dyer as far as possible. And I don't care where it is as long as Flaming Dyer's not following me.
As long as Eric Dyer's not following.
Sounds like a nice Brazilian trip will do you nice. That's far enough. But, maybe he would go there because he can speak Portuguese. Dermot, where are you going? You're a player. You've just had a shitty season. Everyone's making fun of you on socials because you're dire and the team's diabolical. Where's the first place you're heading as soon as you can go on holiday?
Emigrating to Russia. That's the first place some of them players need to go to, right? Just emigrate them over there. No, I agree with Tottenham forever up top there. Yeah, as far away as they can go because they really need to hang their heads in shame. They really do.
Shame. They should do what they did in Game of Thrones, where they walk down the street and everyone shames them and throws tomatoes at them.
That's it.
But nice soft tomatoes. I don't want to injure anyone. Corey, where's the first place you're going on holiday?
I'm packing my bags and going far away from technology and everything. I want to go and sit in the woods with a fishing pole.
Ooh, that sounds
nice retreat.
Yeah,
get away from it all. Take yourself off the grid. Get away. Get back in touch with what we're meant to be as a species. Back in touch with nature. That would be my retreat as a player each season. And it doesn't help that we had a World Cup thrown into the middle of the year, prolonging how long this season's gone on.
Oh, that's fair
I
too.
feel sorry for all the players in this situation, not just at Tottenham. All these players across the world have been thrown into the mire because of a World Cup. And by now, the season should have been over by now, and we should be looking forward to like a couple of weeks' time, the season starting again.
I hear you. Honestly, I was thinking about that. That'd be a nice trip. I've been wanting to take my son fishing. That's what I would do. So my answer would be something nice and easy. I would just go to up in the mountains where there's a nice lake, where the weather's nice. Doesn't matter the time of season. I'm going where it's nice and cool.
In America, you got Big Bear, haven't you? So I'd go to Big Bear.
Yeah, we got a few places. Honestly, I'm partial to the Pacific Northwest is what it's called. So like the Seattle, Oregon area. I love it up there in the mountains. There's nice like waterfalls. You can go hiking, and it's really, really like a great place to what the kids would say, touch grass. Like it's a very good place to go like decompress and get away from it all.
The thing is, if I was a player after this kind of a season we've just had, not just at Tottenham but around the world, wouldn't you just want to go somewhere where paparazzi can't get you, fans can't get to you? Just get off the grid, get back in touch with something raw inside you. You know, go fishing, go hunting, whatever you're into. Just take away technology, get that off the grid. You know, just go live off nature somewhere for a bit.
You know, that's one of the best things mentally. Yeah, that's one of the best things mentally. I agree with you, Corey, because whenever I went to Greece, it was a great feeling, like not caring if my phone was charged. I didn't need it. It didn't work in Greece. I didn't pay for the plan to be able to do nothing with it. So, you know, when I go to Greece, I just take my camera. I was with my woman, and we were exploring. I was learning new things and experiencing new culture. Like, that's what I would say for the players: go and reset. And then hopefully some of them never come back. So I do want to play a little bit of a game with y'all. And it will be
Jacob,
your top 3 cut me's. Yeah, well, what's up?
Yeah, just before we go into the game, I just
Yeah.
wanted to ask Dermot a question, actually. It's quite interesting. It's actually on
Go
Tottenham.
ahead.
Dermot, what would you do with getting in new players next season? Who would you bring in and why?
Well, firstly, I'll try to bring in 2 centre backs. I don't care where we get them from. We need upgrading there, most definitely. I would try to go after Ward-Prowse now, because Southampton's been relegated today, and as well as Bazuma as well, who I've seen playing for Ireland so many occasions, who I would love to see at Tottenham. He's great in the ball as a goalkeeper. The last time he was playing, he was throwing the ball out as well. He's very adventurous as a goalkeeper. He tries to get it going. I think we need to, instead of going after these big world-class players who won't come to us, let's be fair. We need to go after players that will come to us, that the manager, whoever it is, can work with. He's got to have and say who comes into the club, who doesn't come into the club, who goes out of the club. We need to go after a young team again, because when we have a young team, like under Poch, they were hungry. They wanted to perform. If they didn't perform, you're out of the next game. We've got to get that hunger, the eye of the tiger back again. So I go for a younger transfer window. Bring in Bazuma, Ward-Prowse. Bring in 2 centre backs to replace Dyer and Sanchez. For me, buy Longley. I would pay the 12 million or the 15 million to Barcelona.
I wouldn't.
Well, I think today I think Romero's looked more comfortable with Longley next to him than he's done with Dyer all season. And
Honestly, I'm partial. I'm going to say this now. I don't really think it was more than these players just don't really have a common goal they're all fighting for right now. That's what it seems like to me. Like, I was excited I think Emerson Royale had a pretty good game. He's doing very well in that right center back role. Romero, something I've been asking for is please put him in the middle and get rid of Dyer, and I've gotten that. And then Longley to me is now the squeaky wheel here. So at some point, I don't want Longley, because I feel like it's going to be a little bit of well, everyone wanted us to get a center back. We went out and we bought a center back. Yes, it was 12 million. It was a guy from Barcelona, but like, he's not good enough. If we spent 8 on him and he's on the bench, I'm fine with that. But we need to go drop Richarlison type money on positions that we need. And I do want to ask this. How did y'all feel about seeing Eric Dyer not even on the 18? It wasn't an injury thing. I'm going to speculate. Everyone knows he's a bitch. And he's finally been found out. And maybe someone heard me screaming into the ethos of my webcam, because I've been pleading and offering to fight this man. Like, what does it take to get this man away from my club? And you know what? Ryan Mason, make of him what you will, but thank you so much, Ryan. If you're listening to all these, Ryan, and you hear me bitching and moaning about this guy, thank you so much, Ryan, because you made my day. I don't care that we lost. I'm seeing some signs of life here. You know, when you get rushed to the ER and there's is this motherfucker alive or not? And I'm at least he's alive right now, and That's all we can go off right now. We're showing some signs of life. I've tried to take positives away. That's just kind of the nature of the beast with me. But I will not sugarcoat shit and try and feed it to you till you ask a donut. To me, the fact that Dyer did not even see the 18 tells me something good's going on, or someone's listening to the fans. I know I'm not the only fan. I'm not claiming to be the only one parading around to get Dyer out of this club. But you know what? How do we feel, Dermot? I mean, what do you think whenever Dyer's not even on the 18? I thought he'd at least be on the bench, surely.
I'm glad he wasn't playing today. It showed last week we didn't need him. And this is why I'm saying about Longley. Longley would be a great squad player. He'd be a great backup to whoever we bring in as a proper centre back. He's reliable. He's more reliable than Dyer. Even last week you saw it. With Longley next to Romero, they were comfortable. They were compact. Though it wasn't a great game to watch, defensively we were solid. And as soon as Longley went off for the injury and Dyer came in, you saw panic just sweep straight through the back four. And Palace nearly scored from it. So, yeah, I agree. I don't want Dyer anywhere near the team. And I think he has been found out. And I agree with everything you said there. I really do. I think he's been found out. He's been known as a bit of a moaner in the past. And then demanding that if I don't get football, I'm out of it. Well, they probably said to him, right, you're out of it. So let's see what.
Good. Get his ass. Make sure if he wants cold water, make sure it's lukewarm. If he wants a hot meal, make sure it's just a little cold. That little cold where it's just a little nasty. You know what I'm talking about?
But not all meals taste bad, nasty, man. Chinese is nice, great, cold, you know. So.
Corey, what did you think about the Dyer not even being an 18? Should he have been on the bench, or is he a bum and we need to get rid of him?
I've been saying for about 3 years Dyer needs to be gone. He didn't even get in the team when Poch was around. Like, come on, he wasn't even a first teamer then. But I look at it not just at Dyer. There's Sanchez there. Davis can't play football. The ball's over the top of Davis today. He was so suspect at left wing back. He was getting
bullied. He was getting bullied on the bench.
Porro was quiet. Royale had a pretty decent game. Remoro had a pretty decent game. Foster, even though we lost, he still had a pretty decent game in goal. Otherwise, that could have been an embarrassing scoreline.
Yeah, it could have been 3-0 at halftime. It really could have.
But then I've got to look at what they're coaching these guys at the moment. I mean, I look at it. We normally have a low press that bothers us. Today, Villa pushed their defensive line straight up at us, and we were caught offside. We were caught sleeping. 8 offsides. Was it 8 or 9 offsides we had today?
I think it was 9, I think.
I'm going to, coin a phrase from Mr. Daigle, as in offsiderson or whatever he's calling him now. It's like I've got the guy was useless as well, Richarlison, just standing there waiting for the ball. He's just being a typical lazy, old-fashioned striker. He just wants to stand in one position and wait for the ball to come to his feet. That's not how the game is played nowadays. Players have to be adapted to be able to run all over the pitch. And when you've got a player, Richarlison, 60 million, 3 goals, and what we brought him in for, a bit of shit else, whoopie-doo. He scored 13 goals as his best Premier League stat. For 60 million, 13 goals. It's not great reading, is it? Then you look at some of the other players that were brought in, Perisic, as other people are calling him. The guy hasn't got legs to run. He can put in the ball, don't get me wrong, but he can't run and he can't defend.
Yeah, left wing back's a liability. I mean, Davies, obviously, he was madly found out today. I think he got kind of bullied out of the game for most of it, and he seemed kind of invisible. But that's my expectation of Ben Davies. I don't expect Ben Davies to come out there and impress me, really. It's just who's going to let me down the least out there is my thought process. Is Perisic going to let me down less than Davies today? And Perisic got found out by quite a few wingers, and I would say even some average wingers. But it was like even the first part of the season, Perisic was showing defensive signs of like, why are we relying on this guy in any defensive form or capacity? It just didn't make sense to me. But honestly, like the starting 11, I think that's, except for Richarlison, I would have started Danjuma because I think he's hungrier and he's not going to fall over so much and look at. I mean, when you fall and your first thing is to look at the ref, to me, that's showing like, why are you even thinking about the ref right now? Think about the game. I'm trying to not curse because I'm hosting the damn show here on Irish Hotspur, which hit a like if you haven't already. Big up to everyone in the chat. If I see some really cool comments, I will star them. I have starred one from Rico that I will bring up later when we're talking some manager-ish. But if y'all got any other questions, I'll star them. Like L's got a good one right there. I'll star. Actually, I mean, it's kind of what we're talking about. This team surely should be good enough to compete with Aston Villa, in my opinion. Unai Emery obviously outwitted Mason with the high line, the back line playing up high and really doing that offside trap deal. To me, I'm trying to figure it out too. Can someone explain to me why or how Son could get caught offside over and over? It wasn't just Son; it was Richarlison as well. It was our forwards, and the only reason Kane wasn't getting caught offside. Well, he was offside on one of them attacks, but the only reason he wasn't getting caught off so much because he was dropping deep, being the one feeding him the ball. So it's really weird to me that Kane and Son couldn't even get it figured out because Kane and Son were. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was actually going to say about this, actually. I think I know why Son and Kane kept getting put offside, was always being offside. And this could be something that I might be just reading too much into. But I think it's they're thinking, well, look, at the end of the day, it's nearly the end of the season. Everyone else doesn't give a damn about the team. So we're thinking about going on holiday and we're not bothering about it now until the beginning of the next season. That's my personal opinion. I don't know what everyone else's personal opinion is on this. Like, Dermot, you can come in for this and tell me if I'm wrong or not.
No, I think you're slightly wrong. I think there is plenty to play for. There is Europe to play for, as either the Europa League or the Conference League. Now, for me, look, I think the Conference League has to be minimum for the next two games. Now, who's our next two games now, Jacob? It's Leeds away,
Brentford Leeds.
Brentford at home and Leeds away.
Leeds away. Brentford at home should be winnable, but Brentford are playing well at the moment.
But they're not playing for anything. They're not playing for European
but
spots.
They haven't. But Jacob, they haven't slacked off either. I saw them play against Nottingham Forest, where they beat Forest there last weekend.
Yeah, no, they are a quality side.
And then you got Leeds at the last game of the season. Now, if Leeds need a point to stay up, and Philip said it to me earlier, Ellen Road's going to become a cauldron. You're looking at probably 4 teams that are going to play for the last two relegation spots. So if we're away at Leeds need a point to stay up.
I actually, while we're talking about the Leeds thing, because it is the last match of the season, for me, I do have a little bit of a soft spot for Leeds, and it's not because there's Americans that play on their side. It's not. I'm not that fickle. It's because there was a great documentary about them like getting bought out by this Italian guy, and he invested a lot of his money to make the squad better, to get Bielsa to come in, and then the journey of them getting up. And it was narrated by the one and only Russell Crowe, and he was like, "Oh, bloody Leeds," and it was great. It was a great viewing experience. I enjoyed watching their journey like come up, and so I'm a little bit partial. Like, I don't want to see them go down just yet. I mean, of all these clubs, there's other clubs I'd rather relegate first, and there's a couple that are dangling right there with them. So I'm hoping, I didn't want to come to a point where we were gonna. But you know what? It might be a good thing that my favorite club is now going to help another club stay up, because I think they will be hungry. Like you said, it's at Ellen Road, and there's some crazy bastards there. I've seen the documentary. There's some crazy bastards.
I remember going to Leeds years
these weak ass players.
Away. And I tell you, they are crazy son of a bitches up there. They really are. They don't give a hoot. But look, Leeds, I agree with you, Jacob. I would like to see Leeds stay up, actually.
How great is it going to be that we'll help them? We'll help them.
Yeah.
All they got to do is go at our throat in the first 20 minutes, and you don't know. You might come out with 4 goals.
We need a point each. They need a point to stay up. We need a point to get into Europe. Just play 0-0.
Do you want? This is a serious question for the panel. Does anyone here, Dermot? It sounds like you want European football. So correct me if I'm wrong. Do you want to see us play in Europe next season?
Look, I was against it for a while. I think no European football. I was thinking like Ryan, but we're Tottenham Hotspur. We deserve to be in Europe. We should be in Europe. We're a big club.
Just
So, yeah.
just off of the brand. We're
No, just off of we deserve to be in Europe. We should be in Europe. If you want to mix it with the big boys and bring in the better players and the better manager, we need to be in Europe. Look, I think we deserve Conference League football. I think that's what we deserve. But it all stems from if Man City or Man United win the FA Cup, the UEFA Cup spots, the Europa League then goes down another place in the league. If Man City win the Champions League, then whoever finishes, I think, fifth will qualify for the Champions League, and that opens up another Europa League spot. So if we finish seventh, even eighth might get Europe this year, but we need to be in the mix. We need to be in Europe. Conference League at a minimum.
We're
That's
definitely
what
not
we deserve.
making top 5. So it's 6, 7, or 8. And
I think the Conference League is a bit of a bogey competition. Although
Yeah, but it's a
it's
competition
still
we can
a
win.
competition.
I wanted to win it the first year that
We're
it was a
playing it.
thing, and we were playing in it. And I really wanted to go get that thing, honestly. And why shouldn't we have? I looked at all the clubs in that competition, and I said, surely it should be Tottenham versus Roma in the final. That's the only way this could shake out.
Well, the only
And
reason we
Roma
ran out of
got-
that, Jacob, was because of COVID. That fucked us, to be fair.
But if
And
we would have
because-
taken care of business in first 3
Exactly.
matches, wasn't that like the 4th or 5th one
Yeah,
that we got the
it
COVID
was.
thing and they
Yeah.
give us a loss? And then we got out on point differential because they gave us a 3-0 loss.
Yeah, you see, the winner of that gets into the Europa League next season. It's a stepping stones beyond stepping stones. It's how you build foundations.
But it's also a foundation where you can say, look at what we've accomplished.
Yeah.
Not, oh, we went to a Champions League final that one time 5 years ago. And it's like, we keep waking up like that. I think we're on the same page, Dermot. Like,
Yeah.
I
Can
wouldn't
you imagine-
mind Conference League, but I don't necessarily want it because I don't
No.
think we'll take it seriously.
No. But can you imagine a new manager coming in next season, right? And he sees the Conference League, and it looks like this year you could have, I think it's, who is it? Is it Roma? And Roma could, who's in the Champions League, Conference League semi-finals?
It's West Ham. I don't know about Conference League. I know Europa's Juventus and Sevilla. There's a
West
few
Ham.
teams.
It's West Ham and I forget who the other semi-final is. But if West Ham can get to a semi-final, surely so can we. We can win the damn thing.
They might go on and win the damn thing too.
Yeah.
And they ain't had a trophy since what, 1980? We at least won one in 2008, but I mean, it is a Carabao Cup. I would like to see, and that's a nice looking trophy. Like, I also judge how I feel about these trophies based on the amount of like feeling this trophy, this structural piece gives me, right? Like the Carabao Cup, it makes me not so excited, but I'll take it because I'm starving, I'm thirsty, I'm dehydrated out here, and a Carabao Cup I can drink out of. But the FA Cup, I mean, that's a big son of a bitch. It looks nice. I would like that thing. Conference Cup, the Conference League Cup, when that thing, I saw it, I was like, that looks cool. I don't think you can drink out of it because it's kind of a mesh looking thing. So you can't necessarily drink out of it, but it still looked nice on a mantle, I think.
It's a European
I see you
trophy.
shake it. It's
That's
a
what it
European
is.
trophy, exactly.
The
And
European trophy.
Tottenham forever. I know you. You look like you have a differing opinion. So let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Yeah, no. Look, you know me, right, Dermot? I respect everyone's opinion on whatever they've got to say, right? But look,
Big old
I
lazy
just
eight.
think, right, with European football this year, I'm glad that everyone wants it, but realistically, right, do you really think that we are going to sit there and actually play and blood in the younger players, or are we just going to play the same dross week in, week out? And okay, I understand that where Dermot's coming from, right? It's a good little trophy thing to have on a mantelpiece and going, yay, we've won a trophy for the first time in God knows how long. But I don't want to be winning a stupid, crappy little trophy like that. I want to be winning like the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup or even the Premier League. All right. And I
Yeah,
know
but
it's
if you're
hard
on the
to do
side
that.
of the road, hungry, and someone's like, "I brought you Burger King," you're like, "I wanted freaking McDonald's." Like, come on, man, it's a burger. It's some food, and it'll keep you alive. And that's the thing. When are the kids gonna stop supporting us? Because they're gonna say this is fucking lame. All we do is lose. We never win shit. At least, yeah, you could do the gritty with the fucking neon lights and the Europa Cup, Europe Conference Cup. Yeah, there you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. So to me, I want to win it. I wanted to win it that first year. The fact, did you see Roma? The streets in Rome, Italy, bumping because they brought home that. Oh my God, they were so happy. Jose Mourinho is immortal now in Rome. He gets free Pizzoli wherever he goes. I've seen it. It's in a contract. Free Pizzoli, SpaghettiOs, and everything. He gets it all on the free because he immortalized himself with that trophy that I think you're discounting a little bit. I want to tell you, like, yes, it is another made-up trophy, but it is still a trophy we could go for, and it's our level of competition. Dermot, I see your hand.
Say about that.
Yeah.
There used to be three. There used to be 3 European Conference championships. You know.
Well, see, there you go. I didn't know that.
There used to be back in the day. There used to be the Cup Winners' Cup,
Oh yeah.
the UEFA Cup, and the European
Intertoto Cup as well.
And we did well in that, didn't we? we erased that one from the memories. But look, the point I'm making, somebody made in the comments, and he's made a really good comment there. Were the players complaining in '63 when we won the Cup Winners' Cup?
Tequila, don't. Sorry, Dermot. Tequila's comment. That's.
Yeah, I know. I like that. But somebody made a comment. Were they complaining when we were the first British side to win a European trophy in '63? No, they weren't, because it was a European trophy. It was a competition. The Conference League is a competition. It's a European game. European nights out on White Hart Lane are special. And if we get a new manager in, whoever he is, if it's Mr. Joe Bloggs from down the road or Mr. I don't know. Now I hope we get the Celtic manager, because I think he'd be great for us. But that's another discussion. But imagine coming in as a new manager with new players and winning a European trophy in your first season as manager. I
would have a picture of Nuno behind me if he had gone and won that conference. I swear I would have had it right here, and I'd probably damn sleep near it, because I'm just that hungry. So it doesn't matter. It's like a soda in the desert. It's not quenching my thirst, but it's at least something to drink on to make me feel better right now.
And that's where I'm at. It's also a stepping stone for the Europa League for next season, and then it's also a stepping stone on for the Champions League the season after that.
And consider this: Aussie 12 says it's messed up that if West Ham win it, then they'll go in Europa, and they were fighting relegation just a couple months ago. They were trying to make sure they weren't getting relegated, and we'll be in the Conference League. But honestly, it doesn't bother me too much, because I don't want to be in Europa. We just saw today what a Europa team would do to us, which is dominate us. And quite frankly, I ain't trying to watch that. When I watched Europa this season, Sporting, we could barely handle Sporting, and they did damage. I mean, they knocked Arsenal out of Europa. So I don't want to play in Europa. They're a little too above us. Conference League's right where we belong, and we can go win that thing. That's how I felt.
Before we start deciding on where we want to be next season, we need a DOF and a new manager. So
that is the next topic of discussion I do want to get into. But I wanted to touch a little bit more on y'all's thoughts about Europe or not. What about the argument that says, hey, if we don't play in Europe at all, we get one match a week? Maybe that gives us some kind of advantage of a stepping stone going forward in the league. Does anyone agree with that sentiment?
Yeah, definitely 110% there, Jay. The reason why I agree with it is because no Europe hurts Levy. And if you're hurting Levy, you're making Levy losses. And if he's making losses out of his own pocket, you're going to get him out probably a bit quicker. Whereas if you're funding him with any kind of European football, he's just going to stay here longer. And that's just my personal opinion. Now, I'm not expecting anybody to agree with me on that.
But doesn't that mean more concerts? If there's less Tottenham Hotspur games, don't they get a certain amount of like what I don't know what the rule is. I heard it this season where they're like, because they overbooked, they booked Beyonce like another day of Beyonce, and then they're like, wait a minute, we legally can't do that. So now we got to go ask for permission from the government because they already exceeded their limit of like scheduled events at a venue because it does stuff to the community or whatever. Someone explain that to me. Anyone in the chat from the UK, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, does that mean if there's less Tottenham Hotspur games that then in fact they can book more Beyonce and Lady Gaga's or go-karting events? I mean, who knows what's going to be going on next year with no European football? It could just be a damn circus out there with the cars going around,
Well,
Beyonce in the middle
Which
singing.
means no decent players coming in, which means we'll be stuck with the same dross for next season.
Yeah, can I just make a point here from a fan who's nearly 15, 4 years time, who's been watching Tottenham since I can remember, probably early remember from 1980 or 81 or 82, since I can remember watching the famous white shirts coming out of White Hart Lane. It was something the gentleman said above. I forgot your name, Ryan. Sorry, my memory has been
fine.
absolutely diabolical the last few weeks. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Dom.
Look, I'm not a Levy out, but I'm not Levy in. I've always tried to be Levy in the middle. I've always tried to look at it as sensible as possible. And I do agree with everything that on the Levy out people say as well. Don't get me wrong. I do agree with that. I can see the arguments from both sides. But this argument saying no European football will get Levy out quicker, it's a bit of a no-go argument because if you look at the likes of the Glazers, if you look at the likes of Mike Ashley at Newcastle, if you look at the protests, especially at Man United against the Glazers, they've been protesting now for nearly 30 years, and they still haven't got the Glazers out yet.
Well, I can honestly say this though, Dermot.
No, can I just? Yeah, sorry, Corey, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So go on.
I can honestly say this. My friend sent me a picture from the Brighton match when Man United were down a couple of weeks ago when we beat 1-0. Literally, Glazers out right across the south stand and spanning the entire away fan section. You know, now if we tried to do that at the Tottenham Stadium, we'd have that taken off of us.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying there's rights and wrongs for it, and I'm not trying to come across as a Levy in or a Levy lover, which I've been accused of, and I'm not. So I've had enough of that. I have enough of that bullshit. But the point I'm trying to make is, if a club is in Europe, it makes it more attractive to somebody buying the club as well. It adds an extra, incentive. Or this club qualifies for Europe every season. It's in London. They're regular in the Europa League, unless it can get them now to the Champions League. It gives the new owners or the new investors a goal. And that means bringing in better players, bringing in a manager, and doing it properly. No Europe.
Breaking news.
Yeah, I've just saw that. I've just come up on a friend of mine's just told me that, a source of mine's. Yeah.
Breaking news. Pochettino.
I can actually break it. My source has just told me it is done. Pochettino is now the new.
Yep, he has accepted all conditions of long-term deal. It will be signed and completed soon after negotiation, very advanced since April. Pochettino on his way to Chelsea. Wow.
I always said this summer was always going to be hard. It's going to be a crucial one in our history, where we go, which road we go down. But if we go down any road, we've got to be in Europe in some sort of competition. Though I do respect your opinion, Ryan. I know where you're coming from. But I think it's going to take a lot longer to get Levy out. Though you could make it uncomfortable for him, uncomfortable for him to stay.
Yeah.
But surely you should be also directing your anger at Joe Lewis, who we've heard is the main problem.
Oh, yeah, no, look. Right, Dermot,
you would agree with that as well, would you? Because we've been hearing the last few weeks that he's more of a problem than what Daniel Levy is, if you know what I mean.
Well, this is what I look at. We got a billionaire owner that acts like a millionaire and invites his buddies onto the boat to watch the match. That's what his little pat on the back is, you know. And then he's got his two stooges running it for him. on shores for him in England. And now, if it is serious about that, his daughter wants to take over the reins when Joe Lewis sadly leaves or passes away. Does that mean she's going to come in, sack the two clowns that have been running us ragged, like just as bad as what her dad has? That's what I would look at.
Problem is, we won't know, will we? I mean, look, I think for off the field, Levy deserves credit for off the field, and I will give him credit for that. It's the on the field meddling that's cost us.
Yeah.
And
in that TalkSport thing last week, when they said that they actually had players like Mane and that waiting around in the stadium, and Levy wouldn't pull the trigger on it because it was 2-3 million more than what he wanted to spend. That just reeks of desperation if you're not spending on players like the Manes. You know, it makes you baffle.
This for me just tops up my season with Spurs. That just tops it all off.
That's a dagger in your heart as a Spurs fan. That really is.
It is.
That's what I wanted to ask y'all. So, to me, I feel a lot of separation at this point because I fall in love with our managers when I love them. So I fell in love with Jose. I've fallen in love with Conte. So I don't know that I wanted Poch back at Spurs. So it's like, you know, a girl you don't want to date. So you tell her you don't want to date her. And then, you know, 5 years later, she's now dating someone, you know. It's like, yeah, it sucks that, you know, they're doing that to you. But at the same time, they're just trying to find their happiness and their purpose and their reasons. So, like, I don't blame him. It doesn't really feel like a gut punch. It just feels like it's officially time to move on, in my opinion. But I just don't know where we all stand. I know, you know, obviously he's brought a lot of the most recent fun times for us all, but surely it's been long enough, right? Right, Corey? I mean, you told me that this is a punch.
Back then, he came into us, sorted us out. He got rid of the dross that he didn't like, brought in the players he liked, and then for 2 seasons was ignored through transfers, and then ultimately sacked because Levy didn't want to listen to him. Jose, the same problem, because he didn't want to concentrate on the match for Southampton in the league to focus on the League Cup, he got sacked. He also called out the players on the Prime documentary, you know. Conte come in after, well, we're not going to say Nuno's name too many times. It's like Beetlejuice will appear.
Hey, he's a trophy winner. He's a trophy winner.
But then
Don't
Conte
forget
come in, called out the problems and got sacked. So you can't have it from 2 world-class managers to say that this is the problems at the club. These players are either good enough or not good enough. We're holding on to players from when Poch was around with us in Eric Dyer, Davies and Sanchez, 3 players that never really got into the first team. I scratched my head at that one. These guys are now first team players. Like I said earlier, Davis was found out a left wing back. He can't do the job there. He's not a great centre back. Dyer is just shocking anywhere you put him on the pitch. I wouldn't even put him near the kit bag, to be honest with you. It just makes my head scratch how we can keep giving these substandard players new contracts every year. It's just making my head. It just makes my head baffled. And we've got youngsters like Alfie Devine finding out on another stream today that he went to a local hairdresser's and went, basically, I'm out the door at the end of the summer. I'm not getting the chances that I want.
And fair play.
That a hairdresser, you know.
Noni Madueke's about to ball out for Pochettino. I mean, he's already he scored more goals than the whole of Chelsea in the past 2 months. So I guess now Sterling is probably even with him because I think Sterling had a brace today. But before today, Madueke, a Spurs boy, true and true, left for free. We were even rumored with Marcus Edwards for 30-some mil. He walked away from us for free. I mean, the list will go on. Mundle will go out the door. Also, when we let Markandé go, I thought that was a mistake. Mundle's going to go. Devine obviously want to go. I mean, Dennis Serkin's having some success with Sunderland.
Yeah, they brought in Pape Sarr, didn't they? And Devine basically said to the hairdresser, I'm better than Sarr. Everyone knows it at the ground, but I'm not getting minutes because of. This is what I heard on another stream, and I was quite shocked because I was in the stream and on the chat as well. And I was just like, that's shocking. You've got a class young player like Devine with bundles of forward passing and creativity in him. We're screaming up for that creativity, yet we're playing Pierre bloody Højbjerg. The guy is an average player at best. He had a couple of good seasons at Southampton, and we swooped in for him. I've never rated Højbjerg. He's a bang average player. You basically tell him what to do and he goes out and does it. But he does it at an average pace. Skip today was horrible compared to last week. So when Basuma come on, I actually smiled a little bit because, being a Brightonian, I've seen that guy go through Brighton's team and really carry them. And to be thinking about the players like Divine leaving us and Mundell, these guys are so highly thought of in the youth team that they haven't been given.
I've watched them. They're talented. They make. I mean, Lucas Moura was playing with them and he looked average. So, to me, there's no reason why we should be playing Lucas Moura. We should be playing, especially at this point in the season. I understand maybe from like a financial standpoint, we're looking at it like, and then Dermot, I guess, is kind of ties back into what we were talking about earlier with the European football or not. But as a club, I'm sure they want European football because it's going to bring in some kind of money and some revenue more than if they did not. So I understand that. But for me, see what these kids can do. Craig Bowler here says Divine is not good enough to play at the moment. Half these players aren't good enough to play at the moment. Why? There's a kid who could not. There's at least a chance there, right? We kind of know what we're going to get from this lot at this point. In my opinion, we know what we're going to get.
We've also got a very talented centre back in the youth team called Alfie Donington as well. He's a very, very good young prospect. How he's not getting in over some of these in the first team at the moment, I'm scratching.
Matthew Craig was on the bench today, so that was interesting to see.
If you pull that tweet down a bit there, Jacob, if you can. I just want to make a point. Keep going. I'll tell you when to stop. Keep going. There.
This guy laughing.
No, keep going up. No, if you keep going up. I want to make a point on Thomas Frank, because that's the man I would love to see at Spurs. I think he's done a wonderful job at Brentford, and I think he would be a good. He's my choice for the Spurs manager.
Was there a comment you wanted me to look for? Is that what?
No, just the picture. But I was just trying to make a point that Thomas Frank for me would be a great choice for Spurs manager. I'd love to see him at Tottenham. I don't know what the rest of the panel think on that, but
he's a good choice. But seeing now that Nagelsmann's basically out the door and Poch has gone to Chelsea. Who else is there out there that would actually want to come into us? I mean, Thomas has done it on a shoestring budget and has got Brentford ninth.
I have a funny feeling we could be waking up to the news. Brendan Rodgers could be our new manager.
Oh, don't! If Brendan Rodgers,
I've been saying it's going to be either Rodgers or Potter. Honestly.
Yeah. Can I just say something about what you just when you just scroll through there? I think we've seen enough of Daniel Levy for 1 year.
As I said before, Ryan, and Corey as well, I think today is squarely on the players.
Yeah, but
the players have to take responsibility for this season as well.
Yeah,
they're the ones. You can rant about Levy all you like, and it's right to do so. And I think he's made some major cock-ups. But if you want to look at it on a football side, and it's okay blaming the fans. It's okay if people come out blaming fans, blaming this, blaming that. But let's blame the players. They're the ones that let us down against AC Milan when there was over 200 Irish Spurs fans went over that AC Milan game. We paid a lot of money to go over for that game. It ain't cheap going from Ireland to England and getting your ticket and get accommodation. You look at when they let us down at Sheffield United, FA Cup. If we won Sheffield United, we could have had the semi-final against Man City. And who knows, because we normally beat Man City. There's an FA Cup final against Man United. The League Cup away to Nottingham Forest. Games we should have won. Games we should have won in the Champions League. We should have beaten it. That Inter Milan side tore AC Milan apart. We should have beaten AC Milan. That could have been us in the semi-final. You can blame the players. You can blame Conte as well for the way of his tactics, of the way his tactics in games where he was too negative. Pardon?
I'll agree with the comment I just read there that no manager can come in and fix this club under these owners.
Yeah, that's why I just put the thumbs up, because I agree with that.
Look, I'm not leaving in as for people to start jumping on my back, but the point I'm making, these players also have to take responsibilities. Yeah,
they're all paid huge amounts of sums of money, and yet they can't even turn up to come and play against Aston Villa or Liverpool or City.
When them players cross that white line, It's down to them. For that 90 or 100 minutes or whatever, it's down to them to play football. There's nothing Levy, Enoch, the managers can do. It's down to them players. And
But now,
they
go on,
should be the
Derek.
ones taking the brunt of the blame as well. They should be taking responsibility. They should be coming up and saying, look, it's our fault. The likes of Eric Dyer, Sanchez, etc., etc., etc. They need to take responsibility for what has happened. So that's my view in it all. And I've had enough. I've been pushed to the brink where I've just had enough this season. I'm done. And I'm done with the whole thing.
But
I
then,
think a lot
can
of
I
us
just-
fans are done with that. In that sense, yeah, we're done. Doesn't matter about the next 2 matches. I'm done with it as well.
yeah, but can I just say something though, Dermot? Right, I agree with you where you say it's on the field for the next whatever how long the game is going to be for. I agree with you on that. But then, would you then also still not give Levy the blame for bringing in those players who have then got to cross that white line?
Well, you can go back to blame Steve Hitchen. You can go back and blame previous director of footballs. You can go back to everyone needs to take responsibility. Everyone for the last 4 years. The problem is the day we sacked Pochettino was the day this club went into decline. We were already starting in decline at the end of the Champions League final. This is when Joe Lewis should have given the money to Levy. There's say 100, 200 million. Go and rebuild that squad, or 300 million. You've got Mourinho. You've got then a succession of managers. We've had 4 managers within 4 years. So I don't know how that works out. 1 every year and a bit. We've had Mourinho. We've had Nuno. We've had
Mason.
Conte. We've had Mason. Then we've had Conte. 3 permanent managers, and Mason twice as a standing manager, and then Stellini as well.
Yeah.
They need to take responsibility. Everyone deserves responsibility. The only ones who don't deserve any blame is us, the fans. We're the ones that turn up every week. We're the ones that support the teams back in, back out, wherever it is. If they go down to the North Pole, we'd be there in our thousands supporting them. We're the ones should not be blaming them. People that blame the fans because of X, Y, and Z, I don't think it's right. And I don't agree with it. And I really, really don't agree with it. It should be the players. It should be the management. It should be the owners. All of them should take respective blame for everything. I really do. And that's my opinion on it.
Fair play. But then at the same time, though, Jay, right, this is more to you, Jay. But would you probably then say that we should give the players that have been here the longest, something that Dave said the other day, that we should be talking about the players who have been here the longest, like the Dyers, the Hugos, and the Sanchez's and people like that, more stick than what the new players are coming for first, before we start giving the stick to the new players who haven't really had time to either bed in or anything like that. Would you agree with that, or because? It's just interesting for your opinion on this, really, Jay.
There's, to me, I guess I'm trying to figure out the best way to answer that question, and I'll answer it in a few ways. So, the players that have been here, I'd say 2 years or less, unless they've shown me completely nothing, I'm not completely of the mindset like let's get rid of him. I guess it goes with the Longley thing. Like, I'm not necessarily get the hell out the door, Longley. I'm just, you do not belong in this 11. You don't belong as probably my first option off the bench. But if you were the option after that, I'm fine with that. So with the likes of him, Skip shouldn't be starting. Højbjerg at this point, yes, he's been a servant to the club. He's been our best midfielder, you could argue, since his arrival. Yeah, Dermot. Do you want to? Let me get your link if you want to dip out here real quick, Dermot.
Yeah, I just.
Let me get your channel link, and let me get your final thoughts before I keep ranting on about players real quick. You got any final thoughts for me?
Yeah, look, it is what it is. We've got 2 games left now. Let's see what we can get. Europa Conference League is the minimum we should be going for. And look, let's keep the faith. We all love Tottenham Hotspur at the end of the day. We will get there. Tottenham will rise again. We will rise from the ashes. We are Tottenham Hotspur, and we will be back, and we will win, and we will be successful again. That's the point I'm leaving it on.
Well, Dermot, always a pleasure to talk to you. I hope you feel a little bit better. Again, I do want to say there were some things I'll give you for Spurs to parting wise. We got to see Basuma, and I thought he was playing a little bit shackle free, and it was nice to see him come in, and he showed some spirit. I think he has to start, so that's a good. Maybe we'll see Basuma start. There was a new youngster on the bench instead of an Eric Dyer on the bench. No Mundle, no Devine, so let's not think too much about that fact. But no Dyer in the 18, not just the 11, not even in the 18. So when Romero got injured, I was like, oh shit, here comes Dyer. And then they said, oh, Dyer's not even in the 18. I was like, oh, I thought, okay, here we go. So I looked in, I guess I realized, I didn't even realize until the game was going that Dyer wasn't in the 18. So there's at least two things to be,
there is.
There's only two finals left, Dermot. Only two finals for Spurs to play. So it's all
concentrate on my Formula One and enjoy that at least.
Yeah,
Look,
get
Dermot,
something to enjoy.
Look, Dermot, just before you go, I didn't want you to think I was having a pop at you or anything. If you thought, because obviously I was just literally because obviously I don't want you to think that I was trying to have a go, because obviously
I don't think that at all. Look, everyone's entitled to their opinions. We're a fan base at the end of the day with different opinions and different ways of looking at things. I just think that we need to, if we are going to blame people, the people need to be blamed in the right ways. And I think the players deserve the same amount of blame as does Levy, as does, say, Conte does. We have a right to our opinions. We may not agree with everyone's opinions, but show respectfulness to somebody's opinions. Be respectful to one another.
Yeah.
And as a fan base, we're stronger together than we are apart. This fan base has torn itself apart.
Yeah.
We're some sort in a bit of civil war within the fan base, which is horrible to see. All the toxic stuff on Twitter and YouTube as well, which has left me, to be honest with you, mentally tired, and mentally that I need to take a break for a week or so to get myself back together, because at the end of the day, it's only a game of football. But as Bill Shankly once said, football is more than life and death, and it's something along them lines.
Danny Rojas, I'm going to quote the great Danny Rojas. He says, "Football is life," and that's just the reality of it. When you live it, you breathe it. It's in your blood. You can't help but not let it affect you. So, Dermot, take as much time as you need. We're here. Yeah. There's also the channel right there. If you agree or disagree with Dermot, go subscribe. Yeah, go subscribe to his channel, whether you agree or disagree. I don't always agree with some things you say, Dermot, but we do agree on a lot of things. And most importantly, above it all, is we both want great things for this fantastic club.
And one thing about this Harris Army, this channel, the group and the WhatsApp, we're all a family at the end of the day. We'll all have each other's backs.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter where we come from or what we do or what color we are or what religion we are. We're all a family at the end of the day, and we all love each other as one, as if we are brothers and sisters. And we just got to remember that we may not agree on everything, but at the end of the day, we all love Tottenham Hotspur. That is,
and we all want what's best for it. So
we all want what's best. We're like a family. All families argue. All families don't get on. But it doesn't mean that we can't all stick together. So everyone, please like and subscribe to Dave and Jack's channel, to Jacob's channel, to Corey's channel. Whenever Ryan,
I haven't got a channel. I just like.
Well, you should do. I do like some of the stuff you're saying. You need to email me, Corey, because I want you on again. Cause you haven't been on my channel for a while.
Yeah,
I've been
very nice to meet you, Corey.
Preoccupied with family stuff, man. That's why I've not really been around much.
Yeah. And also Ryan as well. Let's all love each other. Let's all have each other's backs.
Yeah, no. At the end of the day, Dermot, I just didn't. I do apologise if I have offended you in any way, but obviously that wasn't my intention. I just obviously thought my opinion.
Takes a lot to offend me. My computer actually crashed. That's what happened. That's why it disappeared.
Right, I'm going to say this now. It takes a lot to offend an Irishman.
Yeah, I'll just.
He's got thick skin. This one.
Yeah, you cannot offend an Irish person. Yeah, that's it. But anyway,
Well, big up, Dermot. I hope you have a great rest of
Yeah.
your evening and an even better tomorrow. And you hit a
Much
lot of
love,
nails
Dermot.
on a lot of heads. So, big up yourself, my friend. Thank you for coming
Much
in.
love, Dermot. Yeah.
thank you very
Yeah,
much for
much
having me
love.
on. And let's all
Dermot's
come
not
on.
the only one that said I should start my own channel. It's finding the time for it, being a parent. And now
Look,
that me
I
and my
started
ex
mine-
are
I-
together, we got to balance it out. So,
Yeah, I started mine a year ago, and it's the best thing I ever done. So look, definitely everyone just described, and this man above me, he's a perfect gentleman. I spoke to him a few times, and Jacob, you're a jewel in this crown of ours, along with Mia as
I
well.
appreciate
So
that.
keep up
Yeah,
the
big
great
up
work,
Mia.
and
Big up Mia.
Yeah,
She was
Mia,
live
big
just
up.
Big up
before
Mia.
the
Big up.
Always
Yeah.
big up Mia.
Take care.
That's another
I'm out of
person.
here.
Hey, take care. It's another person. You know, even if I don't agree with Mia, we can always. Whoa, that's crazy.
Oh, goodness.
That's fun. Big up, Dermot. You can subscribe to him there.
That was.
Yeah, right. Big up, Cynical Dad. Hey, big up everyone in the chat too. Ben Kaufman, I see you in the house as well.
Ben's everywhere.
I kind of agree with some of these comments here that, you know, hey, I get the whole, you know, wanting to be balanced on certain things, but when it comes to a certain point, there's just certain people that exceed. Yeah, absolutely, Corey. There's just certain people that exceed like a level of my playing nice, because to me personally, in life, with friends, with family, it's always been, I'm gonna say what I think is my thoughts, whether people agree or disagree, or even if that makes people mad. Like, it's just that doesn't really pay no mind to me, because like I've had family mad at me, I've had friends mad at me because sometimes I just say shit with really it just being how I feel, not necessarily like anything deeper than that. But I don't know.
Yeah, so what's the game you wanted to play then, Jay? Because we can play if we want.
What?
You
Oh,
said
the
you wanted
game.
to play a game.
Yeah.
So-
It's about the roster, so it was something I just kind of made up on the spot, and I thought it would be kind of fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, big up Ellis. You know Danny Rojas. I love that guy, Danny Rojas.
Oh, is that Ellie?
No, this is a different L. It's not
Oh.
Ellie. It's it's someone else. But Danny Rojas. So I made a joke last night on another stream that I was on. The fact, like, the theme for me was just, we are an embarrassment club. Like, everything we do just embarrasses me. The fact that Madueke's gone to Chelsea and is gonna do things there, I think wonderful things. That's an embarrassment on us. That's egg on our face. So there's just constant examples, right? Like now Mundell's, there's rumors that he's going to sign somewhere in the Eredivisie, I think. And then Divine apparently is in the hairdressers, talking about, I'm not happy there. You're at the
But
hairdressers
you
and
can
you're talking
actually
about,
see on Alfie Divine's Twitter profile, he's pretty much removed everything Tottenham that's linked to him.
yeah,
Well,
he
it's a
did
shame.
that a while back though, right? But
Yeah,
I don't blame him, because there's no pathway. How frustrating must it be? Like, I mean, I guess Japhet Tanganga and Oliver Skip were the last two, and then they closed that door. They said no more. I don't understand. But I do, you know, and then, you know, Winks is going to be coming back from Sampdoria. That's kind of an atrocious thing. I'm not really looking forward to seeing either.
Some of these players are out on loan, either either be sold on the dirt cheap or their contracts ripped up, because some of them are coming back, they're like bad tastes.
Good evening, Richo.
You
Yeah.
don't really want those kind of players come back. And Don Belle's left us and gone on loan, and he's a Scudetto winner, for God's sake. He's won something before Kane's won something, which is embarrassing. And a guy,
But I mean, that's kind of the theme here, isn't it? Like, we have people, then they leave, then, I mean, no one's an exception to the rule.
He was a
Nuno,
quality centre back, and he went off to Villarreal and won stuff, and now he's playing really well in the Spanish league. You know, Jean Foyth.
yeah,
Another
Foyth,
player
yeah.
that really getting because Eric Dyer was picked over him. Another player.
I think there's
that gets
politics,
shot
behind the
at door.
door politics going on. Eric Dyer's got the nudies on somebody, and that's how he's managed to get a living here for 10 years, while not even having a true clear position. To me, I guess if I'm a con man, I'm going to look at him and say, oh, toodle-doo, Mr. Eric Dyer. I take my hat off to you, because you did a really good job of fooling people that you could play this position or that position, when in reality, you could do neither. So
The thing is, I don't even rate Eric Dyer as championship level quality. The guy
But
is
he's been here
stealing
for
a living
10
as a
years.
football player for 10 years. Yeah, he's been stealing a living. The guy is not good, yet gets picked and offered new contracts each season. It's just, the only reason why I can think we're keeping Eric Dyer in is for when we meet the quotation for European Championships qualification, having certain amount of players trained in your country and then certain amount of players trained for your country in that certain amount of time period, like English player. Technically speaking, although Eric Dyer plays for England, he's not deemed as an English player on the European qualifications when you actually make like the Europa Cup and European Cup, stuff like that. He's deemed as a foreign player because he played in Portugal for so long. So the only other reason why I can think we're keeping players like Dyer and Davis around is because they meet their non-foreign quota as well for the Premier League, even though the Welsh League is not an affiliate really to the Premier League. It's outside of that jurisdiction as well. So players from Wales don't qualify apparently in the European qualifications for bringing players in.
Do you know what's funny, right? Going back onto Dyer just quickly, right? It makes me laugh, right? When Rory was saying that he's been robbing for a living, yeah, right, for the last 10 years. Well, he'd be a good bank robber then, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh god, the local cats are out.
Oh god, do you know what?
I thought that was like a toy or something. That sounded like a toy.
That's definitely the neighbour's cats again.
Oh god.
Big up, Mark. Big up, everyone in the chat. Here's a question. Jude says, how much is Poch not coming down to Donna Cullen, the woman who's been... I didn't even know of her until this season when people started calling her out. So, to me, she's been doing a good job of being incognito. But what's not neato is the fact that if she does have some sort of say, like... I don't know her football background, but I don't think there is one. I think it's similar to Daniel Levy's football background, which is made up. His fandom's made up. He actually, I've heard that all the things I've heard is all speculation until this woman comes out and says, I don't like Poch for this club, or I feel this way. You kind of got to take words for their words, sources at their words, and sometimes the media can muddy things up. So I don't know much about Donna Cullen. I don't want to ostracize her or claim too much. I comment on Levy and shit because I watched his interview at Cambridge. I watched his interview when he's all the money that we generate, we put it back into the club. And I watched these interviews and he speaks on it, so I can make comments on what he speaks on. I've never seen a quote from Donna Cullen saying anything. So for me personally, I can't do the witch hunt on her because I don't really know her.
I don't know much about her.
But maybe Dyer is their illegitimate child. Maybe. I like putting tin hats on and drawing up false conclusions that are so outlandish they could be true. Daniel Levy, Donna Cullen, love child, Eric Dyer. Maybe that's why they just want to pay for his college or something. I don't know. We're going to give you 10 years salary. I don't know.
Jay, do you know what? That's very interesting though, right? About that question. But then what makes my mind now tick, right? What has Poch done to Levy that is so bad, right, that he will not rehire him?
Maybe the fact that he was like, maybe I'm just a coach. I'm not a manager. I don't have any say in who comes in and who goes out. I don't have any say in the future and what we spend in players.
Okay, shagged.
That dog is at it, man. He's not upset.
He's
about
going
the
in
loss.
to get his winky chopped off this week, so hopefully he'll start calming down.
But
they usually help.
Do you know what I mean? Right? It's crazy, Jay, because Poch must have done something really bad to Levy, right, to say we ain't having him back because it's a joke.
Jazz Fusion says Poch could not be approached because to do so would be a public admission that the board made a mistake in the first place, sacking him. Jazz Fusion may be onto something here. I might agree with you there. Colin Turner says they meet Levy's financial requirement. Welsh players quality as homegrown, qualify as homegrown now, says Craig Bowler. This is a family show. So they're saying Donna Cullen hates him, but I just don't know. I've never heard her say anything. Elle really doesn't like Donna Cullen. I mean, if it's true, then I don't like her either. Big up James Joris.
It needs sorting out from top
I believe
to bottom,
Donna Cullen
the
has
backroom staff, the coaching staff, the playing staff, the lot.
if she has say in what's been going on here, then clearly she's making mistakes, and I don't think she's good at her job. So I wouldn't rate her personally at whatever her job is. I just don't know enough about the woman to publicly be like. I mean, off stream, I'll probably be like, yeah, if that is true, but. Publicly, I can't really say, oh, I feel X, Y, and Z about this woman because I only barely heard about her, and I need to know more about someone before I come to a conclusion on how I feel about them.
Need more evidence to be able to formulate your own opinion, really.
Exactly.
I didn't really know much of her until this Poch stuff was coming up. I didn't even know who she was at the club. If she had a problem with Poch, so she's not the one there. She's just a shareholder, really, isn't she? At the end of the day, protecting her bank account. That's the way I look at it.
Well, Jake, did you just see what just was said there about she looks like Liz Truss?
Yeah.
Truss, right? Well, if you don't know who Liz Truss is, yeah, right? She's the ex-conservative. That's basically how do we? I don't know. Basically, we've got Labour and Conservatives. Labour's the left and Conservative are the right, basically. So she is really right.
Well, I don't want to get political. I don't know shit about politics out there. I don't want to talk about that.
Obviously, that's basically what I was trying to get at with the question that was going on there with who you can imagine who she could be like, and if geez.
Well, I'm on the same page here. Cynical Dad says. I've said it from the start, it'll be Rodgers, as he is a yes man who will work within Levy's constraints and happily accept a financial package when it goes titties up. For me, I've always said when when Potter got sacked and when Rodgers got sacked, I was like, I could definitely see those two being the guy that Levy gets to try and say. But if you're looking at the two's pedigree, obviously Rodgers has won the league. He's won an FA Cup with not a great budget. So I would definitely, if I put money on it, would bet for the Rodgers. But here's my other thing about Rodgers. I'm going to divert the conversation on the manager talk now. So this is the part of the show where I'm going to now start bringing up the manager's conversation. And when it comes to Rodgers or Potter, I feel like they're seasoned enough to where I don't feel bad if Spurs break them. And I'll put it to you this way, because when it came to Jose, they're old enough, they're seasoned enough to understand what a situation is, and they got fucking sacked for it. Obviously, in their own different ways. But for them knowing what the game was, they got sacked for it. And Mason, I'm fine with him also taking being the captain of the Titanic, knowing that the thing's gonna sink. Because if it's Rodgers or Potters, I don't really care if either one of them necessarily. So like, also I started this comment from Rico. I don't know if Rico's still there. About over an hour ago, said, "Am I the only one who genuinely doesn't want Nagelsmann?" And I didn't want Nagelsmann when I thought about it, because I said, you know what? Why would he want to come here? If this is a manager you like or you rate or you think has a future in being like a good manager that you want to be a fan of, why do you want them to come to Tottenham? Paul Beatty, a good friend of mine, Paul Beatty. Sorry, what'd you say?
We're the poison chalice of football clubs and managers. We've ruined two world-class managers in Jose and Conte. They both called out the problems, both got sacked for it, all because Daniel Levy didn't want to hear the truth. That's the way it is. That's the way I look at it. Conte called out the players. Players didn't like it, bitched to Daniel Levy, and he got sacked.
Side note, real quick. So Elsa, she was in the Amazon documentary. Okay, so maybe was she the one that was talking about their profit, their 100-some million profit they made that year or whatever? If that was her, I remember her. But if not, I don't. Big up Tom, evening. But yeah, back to the manager thing. To me, Nagelsmann, I like him. I think he has a good future and could be a good coach one day. Remains to be seen. But I don't want to see him come here. Paul Beatty, a really good friend of mine, a really good friend of the channel IrishHotspur. Y'all know him. He's the guy who did the Dyer and the Sanchez defending tutorial videos. Hilarious guy. He really
Wait, they
wants
can
Ainge
defend.
Postecoglou. Dermot mentioned it earlier on the show that he wants the Celtic coach, which is Ainge Postecoglou, the Australian man, the Australian wonder, the wonder from Danunda. And to me, I'm like, if you're a fan of this man, why do you want him to come to this club when he's gonna, number one, get broken as a manager, and it's gonna be a blemish on his pedigree? Because when you look at the likes of, oh man, you gotta turn your camera off or something. That's distracting as
Sorry,
hell.
man.
It's okay. When you look at, you know, someone that like Ainge Postecoglou, I'll use him for example. I don't want to see him come here. I don't want to see him be told what to do, what to say, what he can work with, and then be broken as a manager. But Jose, he's going to look back because, look, it was just a blip on the radar for him. You know what I mean? Just there's just a little bit of a bruise on that fruit. You know what I'm saying? It's not completely spoiled or rotten or like nasty. But if you're young and you're developing your pedigree, your reputation, and then you come to Tottenham, that could be a dent. That could be a huge roadblock in the way of like what you're trying to achieve. So to me, if you're a fan of that manager, I don't know why you want that manager. I just don't know. So I'm gonna go through the chat and see if anyone's got an explanation like what they. Yeah, I know Tala.
Because do you know what,
Boxes
though,
and
right?
Chelsea.
Everyone else has been saying as well, Jay, that's really quite interesting. But I'm actually starting to warm to now, and it's kind of what you've just said has put me in a bit of a dilemma of not wanting him to come now. Is you know, Arnie's slot.
I don't know Arnie Slot. Like, I don't know him well. I don't necessarily know, like,
Well,
that
he
much
plays
about the
attacking
guy.
football. He plays attacking football, and he's got players who can actually. He can actually make players defend. But like I said to Dave, you cannot get anyone to make Dyer defend. There's no way you can make Dyer defend, and he'd need a whole new backline for starters.
Even without a director of football, if we're operating at the way that we're operating, it's clear to everyone, even if Ryan Mason is now seeing it, that some of these players are a problem. Like Eric Dyer getting out of here, we don't need to wait for a fucking director of football to get that business done. We don't need to wait for a manager to come in and say, I don't want Eric Dyer. No one wants Eric Dyer. Get him out of here. But the fact that he group chat FC out here with Daniel Levy, he's got a little group chat, him and Hugo and Daniel Levy and all the other players associated. Harry Winks is probably in there like, don't keep your head up, guys. I am in Sampdoria getting relegated right now. But keep your head up, y'all. So to me, this group chat FC, this soft mentality, motherfuckers, Hugo texting Daniel, come save me at halftime. I'm getting my ass kicked in the locker room. And always injured. He's not coming out for the second half. Bro, it is so weak to me. These players, this is weak. They are weak. And that's what makes me mad most. Not necessarily losing to Villa today, but the fact that some of these players are still here. But I'm going to talk a little bit real quick about, and it ties into kind of the little game I wanted to play.
Yeah.
So the first, you can only get rid of 3 players, and there's a lot more that I want to get rid of. So 3 from who is coming back and 3 from who's on right now that you want to get rid of. So think about the loan players. Which 3 are you taking back, and which 3 current players are you getting rid of?
So who I'm taking back to keep?
And Corey,
in the
if you're
squad?
there, feel free to answer as well.
What is that? Who who's on loan, who's coming back, and then we're selling, or is that who we're keeping at the club?
3 players from this squad. Choose them to leave, to sell them, give them the Doherty, cut their contract up, get the fuck out. And then 3 of the players from loan, you have to keep 3 of them.
Right. Okay. Well,
Because I don't want any of the people on loan coming back personally. I know people on this channel are a big fan of Brian Hill. I am not. I do not want him back at this club. I don't think he's good enough for this league. He belongs in the Spanish league. He's it's comfortable. He's just like, he's so Spursy. He wants to be comfortable when he plays. Need the sunshine, and I needed a nice cool 75 degrees. And to me, that's just weak ass mentality. So keep your ass in sunny Spain. I don't want you playing on a cold, rainy night in North London, let alone fucking Stoke. So that's how I feel. Sorry for the rant.
First I would just rip. Well, there's already two that I can already tell you that I want their contracts ripped up and not ever coming back and thrown in the bin. And I would have it happen right now. I'd happily do it for everyone. That would be Dyer, and that would be Sanchez.
What are we talking about now? Sorry, guys. Sorting him out.
All right. So also, I'll pose it to the chat as well. I'm going to skip some of the chat. Make sure I didn't get any super chats or anything. I don't want to skip. So if you do got a super chat for Dave or Jack, you got a question you want to ask us. Actually, here's a question I was randomly scrolling through and I saw from Boo No. Question for Ryan. If you were a pragmatic club... And so this is kind of, well, we can't hire Poch. He's going to Chelsea. So I've changed the way that question instead. So I said this to Ryan, Corey, that 3 players on the current squad, you can give them the Doherty. You give them the Doherty treatment right now. There's more than 6 that I want to get rid of. So I feel like 3's a good amount of contracts you can rip up. But 3 players coming that are on loan have to come back. I don't want any of them coming back, any of the players on loan coming back. So pick 3 of them that are going to stay when they come back from loan, and 3 players in the current squad that are going to leave. And Ryan, you said you have 2 already?
Yeah.
So go ahead and think about it, Corey. Ryan, let me hear yours.
Right, first of all, it would be Dyer. He's got to go. Rip his contract up. Don't care. I'll rip it up for him. Off he goes. Sanchez, rip your contract up. Off you go. Hugo Lloris, rip your contract up. Don't give a damn about you anymore, floppy hands. Piss off. Go. You've done well for a club over the last God knows how long, but your time is up. Now, let someone else come in because it's their time is now. And the 3 that are on loan, well, it's the first one's an easy one that I would definitely keep, just because I don't think they've had a fair crack at the Premier League, and that would be, and you're probably going to disagree with me on this, Jay, quite badly. I'd say Gil Messi.
Okay.
Only because he hasn't had a fair crack at the Premier League, and I think he deserves more of an opportunity.
Didn't he get like 13 starts in the Premier League?
Yeah, but that's not really
13
enough.
Appearances.
Yeah, 13 appearances, but not any starts. They've only. And
then he also got some cup appearances, and he was bullied in that, and they were versus championship teams. So if you're getting bullied by championship teams, you gotta imagine you can't stand up to a Premier League team. It's just my opinion. I respect people. Hey, I hope you can prove me wrong, because end of the day, he is a Tottenham Hotspur player. I want him to succeed. Prove me wrong. I am a humble man. I will gladly step aside and say, you have proven me wrong, good sir. Here's my hat, toodaloo. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do a little tap dance for you. However, I could say, I'm sorry. I doubted you, sir. I was not familiar with your game. Prove me wrong. Brian Hill is in the category of, I think he's trash. Now prove me wrong. And I'm welcome to being proven wrong. Same thing I say about Richarlison. When we signed him, I didn't want him. I said, prove me wrong. And then he got the brace in the Champions League, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's going to prove me wrong. And now I'm like, well, this is why I fucking didn't want you in the first place. So, so your 3 that you're keeping, or that you're keeping from loan is Hill, and who else?
Hill. The other 2. This is where it gets a bit difficult, because I don't really I'm like you. I don't want the other 2 in this club anymore as anyone else does. So, but if I've got to choose another 2, then it would have to be Dembele And that hurts me to say that. Can you see on my face how bad that makes me look now?
Tanguy and
Saying that.
Dombele.
Yeah, I feel like everyone's gonna now say, "Oh, you're a Dembele fanboy now." No, I'm far from it. I don't like the guy. I want him gone, but I'm as bad. I want him gone as far as the next person. So, but yeah, so him and well, oh God, no. Do you know what? It's difficult for the last one because there's so many on loan. One person I will never ever say is Stinks to ever come back. Never, never. You can go, mate. You have well and truly passed it there. So it won't be Stinks. It'll be, I don't know. It's got to be between, I don't know. Do you know what? Just because it's an easy option, just say Giovanni.
Okay.
Lo Celso. Only because
I fucking hate Giovanni Lo Celso. He's definitely. I'm bringing back anyone over him or Winks personally. I'm also. I don't want to give my answers away too soon. I'm going to let the guests give their answers first. So let me get this right, Ryan. You're keeping Hill and Dombele and Giovanni Lo Celso.
yeah.
And the 3 contracts you're ripping up are Eric Dyer, Hugo Lloris, and who else?
Sanchez.
And Sanchez. Okay. All right, I got that. Corey, you've had time to marinate.
I've got too long of a list to pick. I've got about 12.
That's what I wanted to make it difficult because I want at least the minimum 6 to 7 gone this summer minimum, and I feel like it's not going to happen. So I'm saying 3, and then also I know these loan fuckers aren't either going to A, get a loan again, or B, we ain't going to be able to sell them, and they're going to be on our squad, and we're gonna. So you have to keep 3 of them. So I feel like it's a nice difficult. It's difficult because there's. Get them all out, is my opinion. But
all right, I'm going to pick from different positions. So Dyer to be gone from defence. Midfield, I want to see Højbjerg gone because I think he's an overrated show pony. Can't do anything. And then Davis, because he's been with us so long, he just hasn't improved. So contract's ripped up. Hugo's already apparently talking to teams in Saudi Arabia, so he's already.
I hope they offer him so much money and he leaves. I hope.
Yeah.
If I give my opinions on Hugo Lloris right now, I feel like I'll offend so many people in the chat.
So as a goalkeeper myself, seeing him make such basic errors, all right, every goalkeeper makes a mistake, but when it's been constant for 4 years now, you can see he's got parts there.
When you don't even fucking move, you're bird watching. Don't be bird watching. You're a goalkeeper. At least move your body, dive for it, even if you're late, even if you think it might be a foot wide of the net. Like, bro, that is. I play keeper too, so I'm part of the goalkeepers union. And I've defended Hugo Lloris, so I feel bamboozled because I've defended him for so long. So I'm personally very upset with him.
I'd also rip up Perisic's contract because the guy's passed it, but hey, he said pick 3. The guys from loan, I'd say keep 4 because you've got Destiny Adoje that is coming back. He's played phenomenal this season. I would give Jed Spence a chance to come back. And I'd probably say, I know you guys don't like him, but Giovanni Lo Celso actually has end product. He can find a pass. He works for the ball.
Oh, really? He has end product. Please tell me how.
He has a bit more end product than what we've got in the team at the moment.
Does he?
A little bit more.
Højbjerg scored more goals than he has.
Yeah, but that's just my.
And he's been here less.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I got Giovanni Lo Celso like
he's a World Cup winner.
He's not a World Cup winner. You don't wheelchair yourself into being the starting, being a part of the. Just because they held up your name and said "Get well soon, Gio," doesn't mean you get a fucking ring. You don't get a God. Come on, you don't get a participation trophy.
Yeah,
God, Giovanni makes me so mad.
Won it. Yeah. I'm being sarcastic, but
he makes me so mad. I'm sorry, I wasn't getting upset at your opinion. You're allowed to have your opinion. It's not wrong. It just upsets me.
Yeah, even though Spencer's a club signing, he's still young enough to give at least a try to.
Yeah.
I'd buy someone for under 20 million, shove him out on loan. And he played okay from what I've seen. But I would definitely tear up Ndombele's contract straight away, just out the door. See you later, mate.
Yeah.
From
The
what he did in that
disrespect.
cup game, walking off.
So let me ask y'all this while we're on the topic of Ndombele and him walking off versus the shrimp, the Morecambe shrimp. I remember it vividly. Him walking off, we needed a goal. Atrocious behavior, unexcusable. But what's worse, that or your fucking skipper quitting at halftime because he's let 5 goals go in 20 minutes?
Oh, what, Mister? I'm faking an injury not to play the rest of the season.
Yeah, Mister.
Yeah, I
Let me
think
go
that's
have a glass of wine at halftime because I'm getting my fucking ass killed. So let me group chat FC Daniel Levy. Oh, Daniel, please come down here and say, "Oh, we Daniel, save me." They're all mean to me in the locker room.
inexcusable. You're the club captain. You should be sticking a boot up these players'
Inexcusable. That's why I'm not even as mad at Ndombele anymore because of what Hugo done. Obviously, Ndombele don't give a shit if that's our captain who's clearly doesn't give a shit and playing up for the Amazon cameras, fighting with Sonny. It was all fucking, ooh, Mr. Tough Guy. I don't like drinking and driving. Some kind of fucking captain we got.
Sonny would actually kill him in a fight. You could just tell because I just got that feeling about Sonny. He wouldn't take shit from someone.
He's trained. He's soldier trained. He's trained to kill people. So
Yeah.
Sonny's a damn soldier. No one can mess with Sonny. I was hoping let Sonny go. Let him get his ass. Let's see what the chat says as far as their little bit of business to my question. Jude says loan players to get rid of Ndombele, Winks, and Road. No, not get rid of. You don't get to get rid of. Well, I guess you can, like, by not. So you only get to keep 3. The ones you used to leave you shit would put up with it are Redknapp and Mason. Have them share the manager role. Spence, Reggie, and Udogi to keep. Hugo, Dyer, and Sanchez ripped up. Wouldn't let Winks in the door. Yeah, you know the meme where the guy walks up and he's like trying to scan his key card to get in the building and it's like not opening. That's a great answer, Jazz Fusion.
I've got
really
a list of about 11 to 14 players I actually want out the door.
That's hey, that's a great list. And me, that's why I said I don't want to make a list that deep because really I gotta temper my expectations. Right, we're not gonna get rid of 13 players this summer. That's just impossible. Would I be against ripping up that many contracts? Probably not.
Yeah, but Jay, can I just say something about that? What Chris has just said about Gill and Spence.
Craig said Gill and Spence are future investments, not bought for right
and
now.
they are bought for future investments. So to really hate on Gill at this point in time, this is just my opinion. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't take it, but I think that's why I think you should give Gill a bit more time than what he's already had, personally.
And that's fair. It's okay to have that opinion. I definitely sympathize with it but I'm so personally just can't accept it because at the time we were all, and everyone's going to make fun of me in the chat. Y'all can make fun of me. I don't really care. But at the time we were linked with Adama Traore and I was like, this is a guy who's actually built for the Premier League and would open up so much space for Kane and Sonny that Kane wouldn't even have to drop back because of the threat, the vertical threat, the speedster on the right, like just causing havoc. I don't need him to come in and have an end product. I didn't need him to come in and start scoring goals, whipping crosses in it. That's a bonus if he's doing that. But Adama Traore's pace and presence on the right would open thing. At the time, we were linked with Adama Traore, and then we did the heel business, and it was just like he does nothing for us. He does nothing for me. And then he got his chance due to injury and lack of options. And what did he do with it? I think he did nothing. At least when Kulusevski, Dan Kulusevski, because who the hell is that? He don't look like Kulusevski anymore. But
where's our Kulu gone?
Where's our Kulu gone? Some SOS? Where's our Kulu?
CQD.
He fucking sucked today, and I didn't want to rail on him too hard today because we all kind of sucked. But he was so bad. He was so bad. Let me go through some more of these comments real quick. Hill and Spence future investments. Let's see, where's some of the keep? There we go. Keep Hill, Spence, and Destiny. Those are fair options.
Yeah, they're all young as well.
Yeah. There's still something to be seen. So like, I'm not totally against the Hill keeping Brian Hill. I just don't think he's cut for this league. I don't think he's going to be able to do much in this league. That's just my
He
personal
needs to
opinion.
bulk up if he wants
My
to
assessment.
the league.
Either that or become as skillful as Neymar, which I don't see him doing that in a year or 2 years.
I think.
Or be a Messi, but he's not a Messi. He doesn't
I don't
got
understand where he
it.
got that nickname from. What, because of a couple of step overs?
Hey, shout out IrishHotspur. I think it was dubbed here first. I think it was Dave or Jack. I don't know. I think it was on a live stream. They may have created Kill Messi, and everyone ran with it. So big ups to being a trendsetter. I find it hilarious, and it was kind of sarcastic the way that they started it too. So it's funny. Current squad: get rid Sanchez, Dyer, and Lloris. Anthony says harsh on Lloris. Sorry about that, Anthony. Sanchez, Tanganga, and Longley out. Not even Dyer. You going for Tanganga first?
Wow.
Longley's not even staying. I mean, but that's fine to not have him back. I'm fine with that. Out Sanchez, Dyer, Sessegnon, back Spence, Udogi, Hill. Good choice for the Sessegnon. Nice pull out there.
Sessegnon.
That's a great choice. Great
He's
shout.
on one of my list of 14 that I want out the door.
He's on my list of 6. He's on a shorter list for me. Yeah, I forgot about Cesspool. Jesus, I forgot about Cess. He's so non-existent. Yeah, he's just always injured. He has a permanent stay in the physio room. They got him a nice little corner set off for his desk and everything. 250 million plus wages on loan. No CL. Yeah, come on. No manager wants to come here. Let's be real. Last game's Hill played. He done well. He was actually statistically the worst player for Sevilla versus Juventus. So statistically speaking, he was not good. I didn't watch the game, so I can't speak on like his highlights. I ain't seen no Sevilla versus Juventus comp, because let's have it right. If he has scored a goal or got an assist or done anything useful, that people would have put it on a compilation like they love doing with Harry Winks when he was at Sampdoria. They're like, Harry Winks balling for Sampdoria. Can't wait for him to come back. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What the actual fuck you talking about? There was a game that he started and they let 4 goals go in the first half, and I'm like, yeah, he's doing exactly what Spurs would do. And so I don't want to hear about Winks, especially. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to rope Hill in there with Winks. I'm just speaking on the last game. I thought it was funny. People, there were some people saying, like, "Oh, look at Hill," and so I'm like, "Oh, let me look." And it's like, what has he done? He's got the lowest score rating. He's got the lowest statistics, the lowest pass completions, the whole squad. I didn't watch the game, so maybe he did something fun that everyone liked, but I just don't think he's good enough. Kulusevski, keep Kulusevski if he wants. Keep Kulu, Destiny, and Scarlet. Oh yeah, Scarlet's coming back. Scarlet ain't going nowhere. I love Scarlet.
I feel like Scarlet under Kane's tutelage could be the future for us. I really do.
I think he needs another loan. He started out great. He started out great with Portsmouth, but he had like a lot of minutes. His goals to minutes ratio was not great, but he started out great. So I'm thinking maybe he just got worn out. Maybe things were just, you know what I mean? He's a young kid. So I definitely,
Portsmouth, so that didn't really help him out.
Yeah. And so I just think give him a championship loan again. Let him get a champion, but like to a bigger, beefier club. Let me. Yeah, like a perfect Watford, Norwich getting rid of Pookie. They're going to need a striker. So maybe they can loan Scarlet from us. I'll be so down with that. Pierre's keeping Kulusevski, Scarlet, and Destiny Udogi. Great choice. Let's keep 100. Tottenham have been punching way above the. Yeah, big up heads. We have been.
You say last 10 years, but in the last 10 years, we've been trying to replace players like Toby Alderweireld, Carl Walker. So many players in 10 years we've let go, especially Modric, Bale, Ericsson. So many those kind of players. I feel sorry in the picking order for like Danny Rose as well, because mental illness is just a struggle to get through. I know that one too well. I feel sorry for the guy. There was a player in Danny Rose. I really do believe that. But we've spent the last 7 to 10 years trying to find the players that we lost when Poch was with us, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But do you know what's weird though, right? I think if we're not careful, we're going to go back to the years where we are that selling club again and recruiting a load of wannabe good players who are actually not as good as they are making themselves out to be. I can see that happening if we're not careful.
The thing
We're
is, once
seeing if
Kane and
anyone
Son,
else-
that's it for us. We'll be a mid-table. Everyone will be laughing at Tottenham again. You know, what we used to get from Alex Ferguson. Come on, lads, it's only Tottenham again. You know, that's what I fear for us soon in the next 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good evening, good afternoon, Amy Carcatera. Good afternoon, sorta. Tanganga needs to go. Someone like Matthew Craig probably wants to transfer. You're not wrong. But the way did Poro play today? He did. He was running around like he usually does. Just reminds me of another Regulon. Just kind of fucking runs around, but he can actually cross the ball into the box, and he's at least has somewhat of an end product sometimes, if he's not skying it over the ball. But,
I think he was well marked out the game today, Porro, to be honest with you.
their back line, Aston
week.
Villa's back line did the damage to us. Let's have it
Oh, yeah.
right. They made us look like little boys. That's what I'm saying. They're Europa. They belong in Europa because they can play as a team. We belong in maybe not even conference because we can't play as a team. So that's kind of.
You're saying it like that. There's this English TV program called The IT Crowd. It was on a few years ago, and there's a scene where the manager is like trying to sack a whole level, and he goes, "You may have to find me another security team for not working as a team. They may have to come in and replace the old team. Can you do that for me? So, team, how can I help you?" That's what that whole segment there just reminded me of. It's like, make sure you get them, and make sure the new security team gets rid of the old security team because they're not working as a team. Just said it like that. It just brought that straight to my mind. It's hilarious.
I think I've heard of that show, but my list for keeping and not giving them the Doherty treatment. First and foremost, Eric Dyer's getting Doherty'd ASAP. As soon as I get the superpower to do this, that's the first place I'm marching. Where's that fucking contract? I'm doing vile things I will not repeat on this family program. Yeah, I would do awful things to this contract and just film it for Eric Dyer and the whole world to watch. And I think it'd be a great little bit of content.
I've got a good one for you. Give him a new contract where play as you play and then don't play him the whole season, so he has to go on the job seekers.
And the fact, oh my God, don't even give me, I'm trying to not digress. So Dyer, I'm doing vile things in his contract. The second person I'm getting out is I'm ripping up Harry Winks' contract before he can even get back here on loan.
Even
but
before he's on
you
the
ain't got
plane.
a job. Yeah, before you even leave the country, maybe you should stay and start shopping yourself around. How about that? Because for me, I'm ripping that contract up. I have the superpower. The contracts are in my office, and I'm ripping 3 of them up. And oops, I stumbled upon a loanee. That folder got in here. I'm breaking the rules a little bit, but that's how much I want him out of this fucking club. And then third is more of a statement. And I'm sorry, soldier, but Ben Davies, you got to go because I'm making a statement. If you've been here X, Y, so many years, you got to go. Because unless you're Harry Kane, you're Youngman's son, Hugo Lloris, whenever he was actually a servant for us. And the reason why I didn't put Hugo Lloris on this is because Saudi's about to offer him a dirty contract, and he's going to pick that thing up and go F off over there. But guess what? He's going to get out there and they ain't going to have no wine. He's going to be real upset. So joke's on you, Hugo. But I'm not ripping up his contract. Let him go.
This is what gets me with the Saudi league. Remember when all these players used to go off to China? I have a feeling that the Saudi league is going to go the way of the Chinese league because of all
Great
this
answer
money
from
being
James
pumped into
Shores.
players, you know.
That's the thing. I don't care if he goes to the Saudi league. I just never want to see him in a Tottenham shirt again because what he did is more disgraceful than what Ndombele did. So my third and final contract. Oh, wait, I already gave you my 3 contracts I'm ripping up. The 3 I'm going to keep. Udogie, I don't count him because we didn't send him out on loan. We bought him and then agreed to loan him back to where he was, so he stayed. So I don't technically count him, but he's coming back, so don't think that I don't want Udogie. But I'll keep Spence. I think there's enough of a player there. He's shown enough against some Champions League sides, some championships level sides, that I think there's enough there for me to warrant more curiosity. And he's a young lad. He's got the dog in him, and I think sometimes that can get you far in life. It can also be your worst enemy, which hopefully it's not for him. But so I'm gonna keep Spence. I'm gonna keep Scarlett. I'm gonna let. I don't want. I think Parrot's getting old enough now to where I can say I don't think he's ever gonna. There's not enough promise there that I think like a. So. I hate to say it. I don't want to say it, but I guess I'll keep Hill. I was either him or Ndombele, but I guess I'll keep Hill because he hasn't violently angered me the same way Ndombele did. Ndombele violently made me angry. I'm screaming, "Get the fuck off the pitch! Get off! Go! Run! Do!" This motherfucker acting like he playing for the opposition. So
I was at that damn match as well. I was so infuriated. I wanted to take my shoes off and throw him at him for walking.
He was getting booed. He was getting his ass booed. He walked straight down the tunnel. He just left. He pulled a Lurie, said, "I'm taking the rest of the day off. I ain't even gonna ride the bus home. I'm just going. I'm taking my own car home." So that's gonna be my list for me, fellas. We've almost gone 2 hours. So what's up?
Have I convinced you enough on Gil Messi then to actually keep him?
It's more lack of options and just pure hatred for Lo Celso and Ndombele.
Okay.
So that's where I'm. It was more like we needed one more seat to be filled, and we're reluctant to give it to him, but he gets it anyway. So I do want to say it has been a lot of fun for me. This has been I tried to bring a different style of fan show today just because I want to break up the damn monotony of the damn way things have been going. Plus, you all joined kind of at the same fucking time. So, like, I didn't want to, I just wanted to do things differently today, and I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Corey, it was nice to meet you today. Ryan, it was great speaking with you as well. I am going to be signing this thing off. We're here at like 2 hours, so I do got to go get me some lunch. I am starving. So I am going to close this show out.
Before you go, Jay, just want to quickly just plug my channel quickly.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. If you want to see any Tottenham content over the summer, especially over the summer with transfers, go to my channel and you'll find it. Jay can probably put it in the comments for everyone.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Okay, he's putting it up now.
When's the next time you're live?
I should be probably live in the next day or two, I think. Once probably no. Actually, do you know what? I'll probably be going live again Monday because I'm going to be giving my reaction to the game, and it's because today the game has just really done me over big time. So I'm like, I'm having tomorrow off. Tomorrow is a day of rest, and for anyone that actually wants to hear some me swatting away any transfer rumours from what Levy might be doing, just come over to mine and just hear me swatting away all the transfer rumours, because we know what it's going to be. It's going to be the same as every other year, guys. Absolutely nothing going to happen.
Yeah. It's
there
been that
you
way
go.
for 22 years, so.
Yeah. Got to keep the hope alive for me. I got to keep the hope alive. There's got to be something that keeps me waking up at 8 a.m. for these matches. So, but there it is. The link, you can check right out, hear his thoughts on things coming up or things in the past. It is a new channel, so go show some love, go show some support. Big up Ellie. I see she's just joined the chat late in the house. Is it peanut butter and jelly sandwich? No, it is not. It might be if I can't find anything else, honestly.
PB&J,
so I hope it's not a PB&J, but it might be a PB&J if I can't find anything else. Amy, real quick, asks if you had to choose Brandon Austin or Alex Alfie Whiteman. Is his name Alex or Alfie? I thought his name was Alfie Whiteman, the dude with the ponytail.
Yeah, I thought it was Alfie Whiteman as well.
But
Alf Whiteman, yeah.
Whichever one's younger, because I don't know.
I'll take Alfie Whiteman.
But then we also got that youngster Irish goalkeeper as well, didn't we, for the unders? So
We have too many young goalkeepers. One of them got to go. I guess I'll keep Brandon Austin because he's at least making it in the squad. He's at least in the 18, you know. Ever since Hugo quit on us, if y'all forgot. But yeah, big up everyone who's tuned in. Please hit that like on your way out, on your way in. I don't know why you'd be on your way in if it's the end of the show, but if you're watching this back on replay, please do also hit that like, hit that subscribe. Jag and David are almost at 10K. They are 3/4 of the way from 9K to 10K. They are 3/4 of the way. They just need another quarter. So share this program with your mother, your brother, your cousin, your sister, your auntie, your uncle. They all want to watch the Irish Hotspur. It is the one and only place to be on every match day. I'm very humbled and honored, excuse me, to host this fan show. I hope y'all enjoyed the little bit different style rather than just having one-on-one conversations. I thought we'd have a little party, try and make ourselves feel better. Sometimes a group hug goes a long way more than the single hugs individually. So big ups to everyone who's tuned in on the chat. Again, if you're watching this back on replay, please do hit that like, share this. Let's get the numbers up because honestly, Jack and David, they need to be at 25K in my opinion. We should have had them at 25K yesterday, but you know what? We can only focus on today and tomorrow. Same thing with Tottenham. 2 more finals to go, so keep your heads high. We got 2 more showings, so let's see what we'll see. Maybe we'll see some youngsters. Again, my positive takeaways of the day. You know, I like to bring a couple positive takeaways of the day. Basuma, I liked what I saw. He's working his way back in. That made me excited to see him. The other thing, Dyer was not even sniffing around the 18. That made me so happy. If those 2 things can bring you a little happiness, then I think I've done my job here today. And I can tell David we had a good show. But if we could try and get them likes up as much as possible. I know it's been a tough day to support Tottenham Hotspur, but if you support the Irish Hotspur, it'll also make you feel better. At the same time, pinned to the top of the chat is my channel that I run with my best friend Michael, is United Spurs of America. There's my handle right there. You can find me on YouTube. We're doing our thing. I'll have a show tomorrow, actually. Probably do a short little show tomorrow because it is Mother's Day in America tomorrow. So shout out all the mothers as well because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So big up, Jude. Thank you for the kind comments as well. Appreciate y'all have all tuned in and contributed in the chat as well. Whether you've been here long or you've been here the whole a short amount of time, I appreciate it either way. But until the next time, all I can say is, come on, you Spurs, up the lads, and course.